There is a divine order to the universe, an unseen rhythm orchestrating all things. It moves the stars, breathes life into the flowers, and whispers into the hearts of those who dare to believe. And yet, so many walk through life shackled by the illusion of struggle, convinced that wealth is an uphill battle, a prize reserved for the fortunate few. But what if I told you that getting rich is not just possible, it is easy? What if I told you that abundance is not something you chase, but something you summon? What if I told you that God has already placed in you the power to command wealth as effortlessly as the sun commands the day? Pause for a moment. Reflect. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract riches while others toil endlessly in vain? Do you truly believe that God, the creator of all things, designed you for lack, for hardship, for ceaseless struggle? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow, they do not reap, yet their needs are met. Look at the lilies of the field, how effortlessly they grow, adorned in beauty without laboring for it. If God provides for them in such splendor, how much more will He provide for you, His most beloved creation? The truth is, wealth is not something outside of you. It is not locked away in some distant vault, requiring toil and tears to access. It is within you. It has always been within you. The only thing that separates the wealthy from the struggling is the understanding of this truth. The rich know that abundance is not earned, it is aligned with. They do not strain, they do not beg, they do not fear lack, because they have mastered the simple yet profound law of creation. That which you believe in your heart becomes the reality you walk in. Do you know why so many never taste wealth? It is not because they are unworthy. It is not because they lack intelligence, skill, or opportunity. It is because they have accepted the lie that money is hard to obtain. They have built altars in their minds, worshipping struggle, glorifying hardship, and bowing to the false god of limitation. They proclaim with their mouths that they wish to be rich, yet in the secret chambers of their hearts, they whisper, "I am not worthy. It is too difficult. I will never have enough." And so the universe answers them accordingly, not out of cruelty, but out of divine obedience. For as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The moment you declare in the depths of your soul that you are wealthy, that moment the world bends to your belief. It does not matter what your eyes see or what your hands hold today, your reality is a reflection of the thoughts you have consistently entertained. Change your thoughts, and your world must obey. Do you not see? You are not waiting on wealth. Wealth is waiting on you. Many pray for abundance, but they pray from a place of lack. They beg as if they are distant from the blessings of God, as if their Father in heaven must be convinced to bless them. But is a child required to plead for the inheritance that is rightfully theirs? Does a king's son live as a beggar? No. Yet so many carry the mindset of slaves when they were born to reign. You must step into the knowing that wealth is already yours. Not tomorrow, not in some distant future, but now. You must walk as if the riches of heaven have already been deposited into your account. Feel the weight of gold in your hands before it arrives. Speak as if you already possess it. Rejoice in gratitude as if your prayers have already been answered. And watch as surely as the sun rises, how the world reshapes itself around your conviction. You are not meant for struggle. You are not meant for lack. The same divine breath that spoke galaxies into existence dwells within you. What then can be impossible for you? The question is not whether you can be rich. The question is, will you dare to believe? Everything you experience in your life, your successes, your failures, your financial condition, is a reflection of what you believe in your mind. The world around you does not create your reality. It only mirrors back what you hold as truth within yourself. If you believe money is hard to obtain, life will prove you right. If you believe abundance flows effortlessly, the universe will make sure that happens. Your mind is the foundation upon which your financial destiny is built. Think of it this way: if you look into a mirror and frown, the reflection does not smile back. The mirror does not create the frown, it only shows what is already there. Life operates in the same way. The wealth you desire is not something you must chase, it is something that will naturally appear when your inner state aligns with it. Have you ever noticed how those who constantly complain about lack continue to struggle? They say, I never have enough, and so they don't. They say money is hard to come by, and so it is. But those who carry a mindset of abundance, even in the smallest ways, seem to attract opportunities without effort. This is not coincidence, this is law. The wealthy do not dwell on the fear of losing money, they expect more of it to flow to them. And so it does. Look at the patterns in your life. What do your finances say about your beliefs? If your reality does not match your desires, then something in your mind must shift. You must reprogram your thoughts to reflect the wealth you want to experience. Every time you catch yourself thinking in terms of lack, stop immediately and replace it with abundance. Instead of saying, I can't afford this, say, how can I afford this? Instead of saying, I am broke, say, I am in the process of creating wealth. This is not about denying your reality, it is about reshaping your subconscious expectations so that the world responds accordingly. If you truly want to become rich, start by becoming wealthy in your mind first. Visualize yourself in prosperity. Imagine yourself handling large amounts of money with ease. Speak to yourself as if you are already living the reality you desire. Do not entertain thoughts of lack, even for a moment. The more you affirm your wealth internally, the faster it will manifest externally. Your wealth is not outside of you, it begins inside. Change your mind and your world will follow. Words are more powerful than most people realize. They are not just sounds, they are creative forces that shape reality. What you say about yourself, your finances, and your future has the power to open doors or slam them shut. If you desire wealth, you must train yourself to speak as if you already possess it. Consider this: when a king speaks, his words command armies. When a business leader makes a decision, markets shift. When you declare something with authority, the universe responds in kind. The problem is that most people speak from a place of lack, and by doing so, they unknowingly reinforce their struggles. How often do you hear people say, I can't afford that, or I'm always broke, or I'll never be rich? Every time those words leave their mouths, they are programming their subconscious to keep them in financial struggle. They are placing orders with the universe for continued lack. It does not matter if they wish to be rich, what they are speaking and reinforcing is the opposite. You must discipline yourself to speak words of abundance at all times. Instead of saying, I can't afford this, say, I choose to prioritize my spending. Instead of saying, I don't have money, say, money is flowing to me in expected and unexpected ways. Instead of saying, I will be rich one day, say, I am already rich and more is coming. This is not about lying to yourself, it is about training your subconscious to accept wealth as your reality. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined, it only accepts what is repeated with conviction. If you repeatedly declare yourself wealthy, your mind will begin to accept it, and your actions will start aligning with this new identity. You do not need to see wealth to start speaking it. Just as a seed does not need to see the sun before it starts growing toward the surface, you must begin speaking prosperity before you physically experience it. Say it in the morning, say it in the evening, say it in moments of doubt. Speak wealth as naturally as you breathe, and soon reality will bend to match your words. What you say about your life today will shape what you experience tomorrow. If you want to be rich, stop talking like a poor person. Speak as if you already have it, and soon you will. There is a divine secret that most people overlook when trying to manifest wealth. You must feel rich before you ever see a dip. Wealth is not something you wait for. It is something you embody. The universe does not give you what you want, it gives you what you are. And what you are is determined by the feelings you cultivate daily. Think about a time when you felt truly excited about something before it happened. Maybe you were about to go on a long-awaited trip, or you were expecting a gift. The joy, the anticipation, the certainty, it was all real, even before the moment arrived. That feeling was so strong that it pulled the experience toward you. Wealth works the same way. If you constantly feel anxious, desperate, or fearful about money, you are pushing it away. But if you can generate the feeling of abundance before it physically arrives, you become a magnet for riches. Some people say, "How can I feel wealthy when my bank account is empty?" But that is like saying, "How can I feel warm before I see the sun?" The sun exists even when clouds hide it. Wealth exists even when you don't see it. Your job is to tap into the reality of wealth before it reveals itself in your life. Close your eyes and imagine holding stacks of money in your hands. Feel the texture of the bills, the weight of gold, the smoothness of luxury. Picture yourself walking into a grand home, not as a visitor, but as the owner. Drive the car of your dreams in your mind. Smell the leather seats, hear the engine purr. Don't just see it, feel it. Make the experience so real that your body responds as if it is already happening. The universe does not respond to words alone, it responds to emotion. If you say, "I am rich," but deep inside you feel doubtful or fearful, your words are powerless. But if you say, "I am rich," and your body, mind, and soul feel it as truth, reality has no choice but to align with you. Your current circumstances do not matter. The past does not matter. What matters is what you feel now. If you can feel wealth today, you will live wealth tomorrow. For centuries, people have been conditioned to believe that struggle is a necessary path to success. They glorify hardship, thinking that only through suffering can they earn wealth. But this is a lie designed to keep people enslaved to limitations. Wealth is not a reward for struggle, it is a reward for alignment. Look at the most successful people in the world. Do they seem exhausted, burdened, and defeated by their work? Or do they seem energized, passionate, and free? The wealthy do not operate under the belief that struggle is necessary. They understand that money flows easily when they are in harmony with abundance. The moment you believe that struggle is required to be rich, you create obstacles for yourself. You tell the universe, "I must suffer before I succeed," and so suffering becomes your reality. You attract jobs that drain you, businesses that fail, and opportunities that seem just out of reach. But when you release this belief, you open the floodgates for wealth to come effortlessly. Does the river struggle to flow? Does the sun struggle to shine? No. They exist in a natural state of ease. You were meant to operate the same way. Wealth should not be a fight, it should be a natural extension of who you are. So how do you break free from the mindset of struggle? First, stop speaking about hardship as if it is a badge of honor. Stop saying nothing comes easy or life is a battle. These words shape your reality. Instead, declare, "Money comes to me easily and abundantly." Speak of ease and ease will find you. Shift your energy. If a task feels forced, if it drains your spirit, it is not your path. The wealthy do not chase opportunities that exhaust them, they align with opportunities that excite them. Follow what feels good, because what feels good is in harmony with your destiny. Trust in divine provision. God did not create you to suffer. He did not place you on this earth to scrape and struggle. He designed you for joy, for expansion, for abundance. The moment you believe this truth, everything will change. Doors will open, opportunities will flow, and money will come not through force, but through alignment. Let go of struggle. Wealth is not hard. It is waiting for you to step into the flow. One of the greatest paradoxes of wealth is this: the more you give, the more you receive. The world teaches us that giving leads to lack, that if you give too much, you will have nothing left. But spiritual law operates differently. True abundance is activated through generosity. The hand that gives is the same hand that receives. Think about the flow of nature. The ocean does not hoard its water. It gives freely through evaporation, and in return the rains replenish it. A tree does not cling to its fruits. It lets them fall, feeding others, and in return it receives nourishment from the soil. Everything in the universe operates in a cycle of giving and receiving. When you interrupt this cycle by hoarding, by holding on too tightly, you block the flow of wealth into your life. Most people live in fear when it comes to money. They say, "I can't give, I don't have enough," and so they remain in lack. But those who understand abundance know that giving is not a loss, it is an investment. It is a declaration to the universe, "I have more than enough," and the universe responds accordingly, ensuring that wealth flows back to them in greater measure. Do not misunderstand, giving is not about reckless spending or throwing away money without purpose. It is about circulating wealth with intention. It is about giving from a place of faith, knowing that what you release will return to you multiplied. This does not always mean giving money. It could be giving your time, your energy, your kindness, your knowledge. When you contribute to the lives of others, you open the channels for greater abundance to flow into your own. Some of the wealthiest people in history are also the most generous. They understand that money is meant to move, not to be locked away in fear. They do not give because they are rich because they give. Their generosity keeps the cycle of abundance active in their lives. If you want to activate the flow of wealth, start giving today. Give with joy, not with fear. Give knowing that as you release, you are making space for more to come. Give without expectation, and yet know with certainty that the universe will return it to you in ways you cannot yet imagine. Most people live their lives begging for blessings instead of walking in the authority that is already theirs. They see themselves as victims, as people who must struggle and plead for what they want. But a king does not beg. A king commands. And if you are to attract true wealth, you must begin to see yourself as one who already possesses it. Look at the way wealthy individuals carry themselves. They do not hesitate, they do not shrink. They do not second guess their worth. They move with certainty because they know they belong in the realm of abundance. It is not arrogance, it is alignment. They expect the best, and so the best comes to them. On the other hand, those who struggle financially often carry a mindset of unworthiness. They say, I am not lucky, I don't deserve success. People like me don't get rich. And so they live in a state of lack, not because the universe is against them, but because they have accepted poverty as their identity. They have chosen to see themselves as beggars when they were meant to be kings. The truth is, you do not need to ask for wealth, it is already yours. It is written, ask and it shall be given. Seek and you shall find. But ask with authority, not with desperation. Seek with confidence, not with doubt. The moment you decide deep in your soul that you are already wealthy, the world will begin to align itself to that truth. Change the way you carry yourself. Walk into every room as if you belong there. Speak as if you are already a success. Stop justifying why you do not have money and start affirming why wealth is your natural state. Stop seeing yourself as someone who must struggle and start seeing yourself as someone who is already rich. Kings do not hesitate to invest in themselves. They do not hesitate to seize opportunities. They do not hesitate to expect the best. They operate from a place of knowing, not from a place of doubt. And because they believe, the world responds in their favor. You are not here to scrape and struggle. You are not here to live at the mercy of circumstances. You were created to thrive, to expand, to receive the fullness of what is already yours. But first you must see yourself as worthy of it. You must take your place as a king, not as a beggar. The wealth you seek is not something you must chase, it is something you must claim. Your environment is a reflection of your mind, and your mind is shaped by what you consistently expose it to. If you want to be rich, you cannot afford to surround yourself with poverty in thinking, in speech, in behavior, or in lifestyle. The wealthy do not immerse themselves in environments that reinforce struggle. They intentionally place themselves in spaces that reflect abundance, and by doing so, they condition their minds to expect prosperity. Think of a seed. If you plant it in dry, barren soil, it will struggle to grow. It might sprout, but it will never reach its full potential. But if you plant that same seed in fertile, nutrient-rich soil, it will flourish effortlessly. Your mind is the seed, and your environment is the soil. If you constantly surround yourself with people who complain about money, who believe wealth is out of reach, who talk about how hard life is, then that belief will take root in your subconscious. Even if you try to think positively, your surroundings will reinforce scarcity. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with people who believe in abundance, who speak wealth into existence, who see opportunities instead of obstacles, then wealth will begin to feel natural to you. Their mindset will influence yours, and before you know it, you will begin operating on the same frequency as abundance. But it's not just about people. What do you watch? What do you listen to? What do you read? If you spend hours consuming news about financial crises, poverty, and struggle, then you are programming your mind to expect the same in your life. But if you immerse yourself in stories of success, in lessons from wealthy individuals, in teachings that expand your belief in abundance, then your subconscious will begin to align with prosperity. Even the physical spaces you occupy matter. You do not need to live in a mansion today, but you can start treating your current space as if it belongs to a wealthy person. Keep it clean, organized, and uplifting. Visit places of wealth not as an outsider looking in, but as someone who belongs. Walk into luxury stores even if you are not buying today. Stay in high energy environments where abundance is the norm. The more you surround yourself with wealth, the more natural it will feel to you. And when wealth feels natural, it flows into your life effortlessly. One of the biggest reasons people fail to attract wealth is doubt. They set an intention, they begin the process, but then fear creeps in. What if this doesn't work? What if I never get rich? What if I fail? These thoughts poison the process before it even has a chance to unfold. Doubt is the enemy of manifestation. It is like planting a seed and then constantly digging it up to see if it's growing. That seed needs time to take root. But if you keep disturbing it with worry and fear, it will never have the chance to flourish. Wealth operates under a law as certain as gravity. When you align your mind, your words, and your actions with prosperity, results will follow. But they may not come instantly. This is where most people lose their way. They expect immediate results, and when they don't see them, they abandon the process. They declare this isn't working, and by doing so, they sabotage their own success. The wealthy understand that success is built on patience and certainty. They do not question whether money will come. They know it will. They do not constantly check their progress with anxiety. They move with the quiet confidence that what they desire is already on its way. Faith is the bridge between intention and reality. When you plant a seed of belief, you must trust that it will grow, even before you see the first sprout. You must hold on to your vision, even when nothing in your current reality reflects it yet. You must act as if the wealth you seek is already yours, because in the spiritual realm it is. Doubt is a form of resistance. It tells the universe that you are uncertain, and uncertainty creates delays. Imagine walking toward a destination but stopping every few steps to question whether you're on the right path. You would never get there. But if you walk with unwavering faith, knowing that your goal is inevitable, you would arrive faster and with less struggle. This is how wealth is attracted. You must make a decision, believe in it fully, and never waver. Even when challenges arise, even when the road seems unclear, you must stand firm in the knowing that abundance is already yours. The process is working even when you cannot see it. Trust the law of wealth. Trust the divine timing of your success. Trust that every step you take is leading you closer to the abundance that was meant for you all along. The moment you stop doubting, the moment you stop second guessing, is the moment you unlock the floodgates of prosperity. One of the greatest mistakes people make when trying to attract wealth is obsessing over how it will happen. They analyze, overthink, and try to control every single detail. They say, if I don't have a high-paying job, I can't be rich. Or if I didn't come from a wealthy family, I'll always struggle. This kind of thinking is what blocks financial abundance. The moment you try to control how money will come to you, you limit the infinite possibilities available to you. Wealth does not operate on logic alone, it operates on faith, expectation, and alignment. The universe has endless ways to bring you money, ways you cannot even imagine. But when you insist on a specific path, you close the door to unexpected blessings. It's like standing in front of a mansion with hundreds of doors, yet refusing to enter unless one particular door opens. Meanwhile, all the other doors stand wide open, waiting for you to step through. Look at the wealthiest people in the world. Many of them did not get rich in the way they initially expected. Some started down one path, only to be led in an entirely different direction. They did not micromanage their success, they remained open to opportunities. They trusted that wealth would come, even if they could not see how. This is where faith comes in. Faith means knowing that what you desire is already yours, even before you see any evidence. It means releasing the need to control the process and allowing the universe to work in ways beyond your understanding. It means shifting from a mindset of how will this happen to I know this is happening. When you obsess over the how, you create resistance. You send a message to the universe that you do not truly believe in abundance. You are saying, I don't trust that this will work unless I can see every step laid out before me. But that is not how manifestation works. You do not need to see the full staircase before taking the first step. You simply need to trust that each step will appear as you move forward. Think about it. Do you question how the sun will rise each morning? Do you wonder how your heart continues to beat without you thinking about it? These things happen effortlessly because they follow universal laws. Wealth follows the same principle. When you align yourself with abundance, money will come often in ways you never anticipated. Many people block their own success by believing that only certain paths lead to wealth. They say, I need a degree to be successful, or I need a high-paying job, or I need to start a business. But wealth is not limited to a single path. Money can come through promotions, investments, unexpected opportunities, gifts, ideas, and countless other avenues. When you detach from the how, you allow yourself to receive wealth in the easiest, most effortless way possible. So how do you practice detachment? First, set your intention clearly. Decide that you are wealthy. Decide that money flows to you easily. Declare it with confidence. Second, release the need to control the process. Stop trying to figure out every detail. Your job is to believe and take inspired action, nothing more. Let the universe handle the rest. Third, stay open to opportunities. Wealth often comes in ways you least expect. That idea that suddenly pops into your mind, that chance meeting with a stranger, that new skill you feel drawn to learn, these could all be pathways to your fortune. Pay attention and follow the energy that excites you. Fourth, practice gratitude in advance. Act as if the wealth you desire has already arrived. Feel the joy, the relief, the excitement of financial freedom now, before it even manifests. This tells the universe that you are ready to receive. Trust the process. Remind yourself daily, I do not need to know how. I only need to know that it is happening. When you truly let go of the how, you make space for miracles. Wealth is not about struggle. It is not about controlling every detail. It is about alignment. When you trust, believe, and remain open, money flows to you with ease. The universe is already working on your behalf. Your only job is to get out of your own way and let it happen. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. It is the key that unlocks doors, the energy that attracts abundance, and the mindset that transforms struggle into ease. Yet most people only express gratitude after receiving something. They say, I'll be grateful when I have more money, or I'll be happy when I finally succeed. But this is a mistake. If you wait to feel grateful until after you receive, you are delaying your own blessings. The truth is, gratitude must come before the manifestation. You must be thankful now before the wealth appears, because gratitude is the signal that tells the universe you are ready to receive. When you live in gratitude, you align yourself with abundance. You shift from a mindset of lack to a mindset of overflow. And the universe responds by giving you more to be grateful for. Think of it like planting a garden. If you plant seeds but constantly complain that nothing is growing, you are working against the natural process. But if you water the soil with faith, believing that your harvest is already on its way, your plants will flourish. Gratitude is that water. It nourishes your desires and accelerates their arrival. Many people focus on what they don't have, and by doing so, they create more lack in their lives. They say, I wish I had more money, but the energy behind their words is frustration, not gratitude. They focus on debts, on expenses, on what is missing. And because the universe mirrors that energy, they continue to experience lack. But when you shift to gratitude, everything changes. Instead of saying, I don't have enough, start saying, I am so grateful for the money I do have. Instead of worrying about bills, give thanks for the ability to pay them. Instead of feeling envious of others' success, celebrate their wealth as proof that abundance is available to you as well. The moment you start focusing on what is good in your life, you will see more good appear. One of the most powerful practices you can develop is gratitude in advance. Thank God for the wealth that is already yours in the unseen realm. Before the money arrives, before the opportunities present themselves, before the success unfolds, give thanks as if it has already happened. Say, I am so grateful for my financial freedom. I am so thankful that money flows to me effortlessly. I rejoice in the abundance that is pouring into my life. When you do this with sincerity, you create a vibration of certainty. You are no longer hoping for wealth, you are expecting it. Wealthy people understand this principle. They are not just grateful when they receive large amounts of money. They are grateful at all times. They do not dwell on problems, they focus on possibilities. They do not complain about temporary setbacks, they give thanks for lessons learned. And because of this, they continue to attract success. But gratitude is not just about words, it is about emotion. You cannot simply say, I am grateful, while feeling frustrated or doubtful inside. You must feel gratitude deeply. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and truly experience the joy of financial abundance, even before it arrives. Imagine the freedom, the security, the generosity you will be able to express when wealth is flowing effortlessly into your life. The more you feel it now, the faster it becomes your reality. Another way to cultivate gratitude is to practice giving. When you give, you affirm that you have more than enough. Even if you only have a small amount, give something, whether it's money, time, or kindness. Giving reinforces the belief that you are blessed, and in return, you will receive more. The wealthiest people in the world are also the most generous. They do not give because they are rich because they give. Start keeping a daily gratitude journal. Each morning or night, write down at least 5 things you are grateful for. Do not just list them, feel the gratitude in your heart. The more you train yourself to focus on abundance, the more abundance will flow into your life. Gratitude is not just an emotion, it is a strategy. It is the mindset that shifts you from scarcity to wealth. It is the force that magnetizes success toward you. When you live in gratitude now, you unlock a future filled with unlimited prosperity. Everything you desire is already within your reach. Wealth is not something you chase, it is something you align with. The struggle, the doubt, the fear, these are illusions that keep you trapped in limitation. But now you know the truth. You are not meant to live in lack. You are not meant to fight for every dollar. You were created for abundance, for overflow, for prosperity beyond measure. The moment you shift your mindset, the moment you start believing in your own power, the world will begin to reshape itself around you. Wealth is not reserved for the few, it is available to all who dare to believe. Speak it, feel it, trust it, and act as if it is already yours. Give freely, walk in the authority of abundance, surround yourself with success, release doubt, and live in gratitude now. These are not just ideas, they are laws, unchanging, unfailing, and absolute. The universe is already working in your favor. Doors you never even imagined are opening. Money is flowing toward you in ways beyond your understanding. Your only task is to step into the knowing that getting rich is super easy, because once you do, nothing can stop the wealth that is already making its way to you. Believe it, claim it, live it, and watch as your world transforms before your eyes. Imagine for a moment that you are standing in a garden. The morning sun stretches its golden fingers across the earth, illuminating rows of trees, flowers, and vines. Some plants stand tall, full of life, bearing fruit, while others droop under the weight of decay. Hidden beneath the vibrant foliage, there are weeds, silent invaders that creep into the soil, wrapping themselves around the roots, choking the very life out of what was meant to grow. Now let me ask you, what kind of garden are you tending within yourself? For the garden is your mind, and every thought you nurture is a seed. Some thoughts bloom into joy, abundance, and peace. Others grow into doubt, fear, and despair, The fruit of your life, your experiences, your relationships, your circumstances is nothing more than the harvest of the seeds you have allowed to take root. And yet, how many of us walk through life unaware of the weeds slowly overtaking our souls? You see, the mind does not discriminate. It does not choose between good and evil, between love and hate, between abundance and lack. It simply multiplies whatever is planted within it. If you plant seeds of faith, you will reap miracles. If you plant seeds of fear, you will reap suffering. And if you allow negativity to fester unchecked, it will spread like an untamed vine, suffocating the divine potential within you. But here is the truth that few dare to embrace. You are not bound by the weeds of your past. You are not a prisoner to the disappointments, the failures, or the betrayals that have scarred your journey. For just as a gardener wields the shears to remove what does not belong, so too have you been given the power to prune away every thought, every belief, every experience that no longer serves you. This is the divine law of revision. There is nothing in your past that cannot be rewritten, nothing in your present that cannot be reshaped. The world will tell you that history is fixed, that pain is permanent, that what has been will always be. But those who understand the power of the mind know otherwise. Have you ever replayed a painful moment in your head, reliving every detail as if it were happening all over again? The argument that shattered a friendship, the rejection that cut into your soul, the moment of failure that left you questioning your worth. Each time you recall it, you breathe life into it once more, allowing it to take deeper root within your being. But what if you could do the opposite? What if, instead of replaying the pain, you revised it? What if you could return to that memory and reshape it not as it was, but as it should have been? This is not mere imagination. This is the sacred art of pruning, the divine act of removing the old, the unwanted, the harmful, and replacing it with life, with light, with truth. God did not create you to be a prisoner of your past. He did not breathe life into you so that you might be chained to memories of suffering and regret. He has given you the ability to rewrite your story, to uproot the seeds of negativity and plant new visions of victory in their place. But will you do it? Will you take up the pruning shears and cut away the bitterness that has taken hold of your heart? Will you remove the thorns of self-doubt that have entangled your mind? Or will you continue to walk through a garden overrun with weeds, blaming life, blaming others, blaming fate for what you refuse to change? Pause for a moment and reflect. The thoughts you carry today will shape the reality you wake up to tomorrow. If you have filled your mind with anger, fear, and resentment, do not be surprised when those very things manifest in your life. But if you dare to revise, to cut away the dead weight of past failures and replace them with thoughts of peace, love, and abundance, then your reality will follow suit. This is a law unbreakable and absolute. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to be followed by misfortune wherever they go? How they tell the same stories of heartbreak and betrayal year after year, as if nothing ever changes. It is not because life has cursed them, but because they have refused to revise. They have allowed the weeds of their past to take root so deeply that they now define who they are. But you are here now, listening to these words, because something inside you knows that there is another way. You are ready to change, ready to rise, ready to reclaim the authority that has always been yours. So listen closely, for what I am about to share will change the way you see your mind, your past, and your future. You are about to discover the sacred art of pruning, the divine act of cutting out negativity, so that you may step into the life God has always intended for you. Are you ready? Because what follows next will give you the tools to reshape your destiny. Before any gardener begins to prune, they must first recognize what needs to be removed. They must examine the branches, trace the roots, and identify the weeds that are suffocating the life from their garden. The same principle applies to your mind. You cannot cut out negativity if you do not first recognize its presence. Negativity is deceptive. It does not announce itself with a loud voice or an obvious presence. Instead, it creeps in through your daily thoughts, hiding beneath the surface of routine complaints, silent doubts, and unspoken fears. It is in the frustration you feel when things do not go your way, in the voice that whispers, "You are not enough," in the resentment that lingers when someone has wronged you. These thoughts may seem small, harmless even, but like weeds in a garden, they multiply if left unchecked. Ask yourself, what thoughts have taken root in my mind? What words do I speak over myself daily? Do I dwell on past failures? Do I replay old wounds, reinforcing them with every retelling? The first step to cutting out negativity is to identify the thoughts that no longer serve you. You must become aware of what you allow to grow in the soil of your consciousness. Perhaps it is self-doubt that has taken root, telling you that you are unworthy of love, success, or happiness. Maybe it is resentment that festers every time you think about someone who wronged you, or fear of failure, of judgment, of stepping into the unknown. These are the weeds that choke your spirit, preventing the divine fruit of joy, peace, and abundance from flourishing in your life. But here is the truth: you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts, the one who decides what stays and what must go. Just as a gardener does not allow weeds to overrun the garden, you must not allow negativity to take over your mind. Once you recognize a negative thought, do not entertain it. Do not feed it with more energy by dwelling on it. Instead, observe it and make a conscious decision to remove it. Speak against it. Replace it with a new thought, one rooted in truth, one aligned with the life you wish to create. For example, when the thought arises that says, "I will never succeed," catch it immediately. Do not let it take root. Instead, replace it with, "I am divinely guided and success is already mine." If a thought tells you, "Nobody loves me," uproot it and replace it with, "I am deeply loved and I attract meaningful relationships." You must be vigilant. The enemy of your growth thrives in deception, planting seeds of doubt when you are unaware. But you are not powerless. You are the master gardener of your mind. And by identifying these weeds, you take the first step in reclaiming spiritual and mental freedom. Once you have identified the negative thoughts and patterns that have shaped your reality, the next step is revision, the sacred art of rewriting your past in the realm of your mind. Many believe the past is unchangeable, that what has been done cannot be undone. But those who understand the power of revision know otherwise. The past only exists in your memory. And because memory is a living, fluid thing, it can be reshaped. Think about this. Every painful memory you hold on to is nothing more than a story you keep telling yourself. A wound that you refuse to let heal because you revisit it over and over again. But what if, instead of repeating the pain, you revise the memory? Let's say you were rejected by a loved one, a friend, a job you wanted. The moment of rejection left a deep scar, making you feel unworthy, unloved, not good enough. Every time you think of it, you reinforce the wound. But what if instead of reliving that pain, you revise the memory? Close your eyes and see the event differently. Imagine that instead of rejection, you were received with open arms. Instead of failure, you were victorious. Instead of hearing words that broke you, imagine words that uplifted you. Feel the relief, the joy, the peace of that new scene. Some will say, "But that is not real. That is not what happened." And I ask you, is it not just as real as the pain you keep reliving? If your mind has the power to keep you trapped in a painful past, does it not also have the power to rewrite it? Understand this: your subconscious mind does not distinguish between memory and reality. It simply accepts what you continue to feed it. If you relive pain, it assumes that is what you want and will continue to shape your life accordingly. But if you revise, if you replace the painful memory with a new one, it will accept that as well. And in doing so, your present and future will begin to align with your new vision. Consider this a divine exchange. Instead of carrying the weight of past betrayal, replace it with forgiveness and release. Instead of holding on to the sting of humiliation, replace it with confidence and self-worth. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim of past circumstances, see yourself as victorious, transformed, strengthened. Revision is not about denying what happened. It is about reclaiming your power over it. The past is not meant to imprison you, it is meant to be rewritten by you. Each night before you sleep, take a few minutes to revise your day. If anything happened that was unpleasant, rewrite it in your mind before drifting off. If someone spoke harshly to you, imagine they spoke with kindness. If you made a mistake, see yourself succeeding instead. Do this consistently, and soon your reality will reflect the new images you have planted. Because what you see in your mind, what you continue to affirm, will become the truth of your life. Words are the sculptors of reality. Every word you speak, whether in casual conversation or in moments of deep emotion, is shaping the world around you. You are, at every moment, either reinforcing the past or creating the future. Yet, how often do we use our words to affirm the very things we do not want? Listen to the words that escape your lips on a daily basis. How often do you say, I can't do this, nothing ever works out for me, I always attract the wrong people, or I am stuck in this situation? Do you not see? Each time you say these words, you command them into existence. You are declaring them to be true. And because your subconscious mind is always listening, it will take those words and shape your life accordingly. But what if, instead of using your words to reinforce the struggles of the past, you began to speak only what you want to see? This is not wishful thinking. This is divine law in action. It is written, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Do you understand? Your words hold power, the power to bless or to curse, to build or to destroy, to free or to imprison. When you declare that you are unloved, your mind ensures that you will experience rejection. When you say that money is hard to come by, your reality conforms to your belief. When you constantly express your fears, anxieties, and doubts, you invite those very things to take root in your life. But here is where the shift happens. If you wish to prune negativity, you must become conscious of the words you allow to pass your lips. You must choose them with precision, as a gardener chooses which seeds to plant in fertile soil. Speak words of life over yourself. If you desire success, do not say, I hope I succeed. Say instead, I am destined for success. If you long for love, do not say, I always attract the wrong people. Say instead, I am surrounded by love, and my relationships bring me joy. It does not matter if the physical world has yet to reflect these words. You are creating as you speak. The moment you align your words with the life you desire, reality begins to bend in your favor. And yet, many people resist this. They argue, but that's not true. How can I say I am wealthy if I have no money? How can I say I am healthy if I feel sick? Understand this. Truth is not what you see. It is what you decree. The world around you is simply a mirror, reflecting the beliefs and words you have been entertaining. If you desire a new reality, speak it into existence. This is the divine pruning process. Cutting away the old, destructive speech and replacing it with declarations of power, faith, and victory. So I ask you now, what have you been speaking into your life? What words have you been planting into the soil of your future? If you are tired of living in the same patterns, then change your words and you will change your world. A plant does not thrive in just any environment. Place a flower in toxic soil and it will wither. Deprive it of light and it will struggle to grow. Drown it in too much water and it will rot from the roots up. The same is true for you. If you desire to cut out negativity and step into a new reality, you must take a hard look at your environment. Who do you surround yourself with? What do you feed your mind daily? What voices have influence over your life? Many people do everything else right. They try to revise their past, they speak words of faith, they even attempt to shift their mindset, but they remain in toxic environments that suffocate their growth. And then they wonder why nothing changes. Think about it. If you surround yourself with people who constantly complain, gossip, and dwell in negativity, what do you think will happen to you? You will absorb their energy, whether you intend to or not. If you consume media filled with fear, violence, and hopelessness, do you think your mind will remain unaffected? If you spend your days listening to voices that tell you that you are limited, unworthy, or incapable, how long before you begin to believe it? You must be ruthless in guarding your environment. Just as a gardener removes pests that threaten the crop, You must remove the influences that threaten your spirit. If a friend only brings negativity, distance yourself. If social media fills your mind with comparison and doubt, cut back. If the news constantly feeds you fear, turn it off. It is not about living in ignorance. It is about protecting your mind from being poisoned. But removing the negative is only half of the work. You must also replace it with what nurtures your growth. Surround yourself with those who inspire you. Seek out conversations that uplift, challenge, and expand your thinking. Fill your mind with wisdom. Read books that stretch your faith. Listen to messages that remind you of your power. Engage with those who speak life rather than drain it. Most importantly, cultivate silence. Moments where you disconnect from the world and realign yourself with God's presence. Because in the stillness, you will hear the voice of truth. If you truly desire transformation, audit your environment today. Do not be afraid to make hard choices. Some relationships must be pruned, some habits must be discarded, some influences must be replaced. And though it may feel uncomfortable at first, the freedom you gain will be immeasurable. Because in the right environment, you will flourish. There is divine truth that most people overlook. You are not bound by who you have been. You are only bound by who you choose to continue. If you want to remove negativity from your life, if you want to prune away the dead weight of doubt, fear, and limitation, then you must hold the vision of who you want to be so firmly in your mind that nothing can shake it. Look at your life right now. The circumstances you are in, the challenges you face, even the victories you have experienced. These are nothing more than reflections of the beliefs you have held about yourself. You have lived according to a script, whether you realized it or not. Some of that script was written by you, and some of it was written by others, by parents, teachers, society, past experiences, and even your fears. But here is what you must understand. You are not required to keep reading the same script. You can write a new one. The question is, who do you choose to be? It is not enough to say, I want to be successful. You must see yourself as successful. You must become so certain of it that no external force can convince you otherwise. If you wish to be strong, confident, and at peace, then you must live in the awareness of that version of yourself right now. Do you understand what this means? It means that even if your external world does not yet reflect the life you desire, you must remain unwavering in your belief that it is already yours. Because the world outside of you is only an echo of the world within you. But this is where most people struggle. They allow what they see to dictate what they believe. They say, how can I believe I am prosperous when I am drowning in debt? How can I believe I am loved when I have been rejected? How can I believe I am healed when I still feel broken? And I tell you now, that is the greatest trap. Because the moment you let your circumstances dictate your beliefs, you become a slave to them. But if you reverse it, if you allow your beliefs to dictate your circumstances, then you will see your life transformed before your very eyes. This is why you must hold the vision. Do not merely wish for a better life, see it, live it, become it. If you desire success, then stop waiting for permission to feel successful. Walk with the posture, the confidence, the energy of someone who already possesses it. Speak with the certainty of one who knows. It is only a matter of time before the world catches up to what they already see within. If you long for love, stop seeing yourself as someone who is lacking it. See yourself as already loved, already whole, already complete. And in time, your external world will conform to that truth. If you seek peace, then even in the midst of chaos, carry peace within you. Train your mind to be unmoved by the storms of life. Hold the vision of stillness. of unshakable trust in divine order, and watch as the chaos begins to dissipate around you. Your vision is your blueprint. The clearer you hold it, the faster your reality begins to align with it. But if you allow doubt to blur your vision, if you let old fears creep back in, then you will keep yourself trapped in the same cycle, living the same reality over and over again. This is why the pruning process is so vital. Holding the vision is not just about seeing the future, it is about removing everything that contradicts it. You cannot declare that you are becoming a person of greatness while still holding on to thoughts of inferiority. You cannot claim abundance while still repeating the words of lack. You cannot step into your destiny while clinging to an identity that no longer serves you. There is a reason why faith is described as the evidence of things not seen. Because faith is the ability to hold on to the vision before the physical proof arrives. Look at the greatest achievers, the ones who have overcome insurmountable odds. Do you think they waited for the world to confirm their greatness before they believed in it? No. They saw it first. They became it first in their minds, and then the world had no choice but to reflect it back to them. And so I ask you, what vision do you hold of yourself? Do you see yourself as a person who is constantly struggling, constantly being overlooked, constantly failing? If so, then do not be surprised when life continues to give you more of the same. But if you shift, if you decide right now that you are stepping into a new identity, a new power, a new story, then nothing in this world can stop you. But remember this, holding the vision is not a passive act. It is a daily discipline. Every morning before you step out into the world, remind yourself of who you really are. Not who your past says you are, not who your fears say you are, but who God created you to be. Throughout the day, when doubts creep in, reject them. Do not entertain thoughts that contradict your vision. If an old belief tries to resurface, prune it immediately. Every night before you sleep, reinforce your vision. Replay your success, your peace, your joy in your mind. Let it sink deep into your subconscious so that when you wake up, it becomes more and more real. Because make no mistake, you are always creating. The only question is, what are you creating? If you do not deliberately hold the vision of who you want to be, then by default you will continue repeating who you have been. But if you take control, if you prune the past and nurture the future, then the life you desire is not just possible, it is inevitable. There is an unseen rhythm to the universe, a divine order orchestrating events with precision beyond human understanding. And yet, how often do we become impatient? How often do we question why things are not happening fast enough? When you begin to prune negativity from your life, to revise your past, to speak only what you wish to manifest, and to hold the vision of who you are becoming, there will be moments when the external world appears unchanged. There will be moments of waiting, moments where nothing seems to be happening. And in those moments, doubt will try to creep back in. But understand this, a delay is not a denial. A farmer does not plant a seed and dig it up the next day to check if it is growing. He trusts the process. He knows that beneath the soil, where his eyes cannot see, a transformation is taking place. And in the same way, when you revise your mind, when you prune away old beliefs and plant new ones, there is a season of unseen growth before the harvest arrives. Too often, people give up in this waiting period. They start strong, filled with faith, declaring abundance, love, and success. But when weeks pass, when months pass, and they do not yet see the results, they abandon their vision. They speak words of doubt, undoing the very work they started. This is why trust in divine timing is essential. Think of every great transformation in nature. Pregnancy, the changing of the seasons, the blooming of a flower, none of these happen overnight. God moves in seasons, not seconds. You may be in a winter season right now, where everything seems barren, where it feels like nothing is happening. But winter is not the death of life, it is the preparation for new beginnings. What seems like silence is actually divine alignment. But here's where most people go wrong. Instead of trusting the process, they allow fear and impatience to take control. They worry that if things don't change soon, they never will. And so they react out of desperation, making impulsive choices that only delay their blessings further. Let me ask you, if you truly knew that everything you desire was already on its way, would you be anxious? If you were certain that your prayers were being answered, would you still stress over how and when it will happen? This is why faith and patience go hand in hand. The test is not just in what you believe it is and how long you are willing to stand firm in that belief. Many people unknowingly sabotage their own blessings because they try to force things before their time. They step ahead of divine order, trying to control what was never theirs to control. And in doing so, they create unnecessary struggle. But those who truly understand the power of faith know that there is no need to chase what is already destined. Do not be fooled by what you see in the physical realm. Everything is working together for your good. Even the delays, even the rejections, even the setbacks, every single one is positioning you for something greater. So do not rush the process. Trust the timing. Continue pruning your mind, continue holding your vision, continue aligning yourself with the life you desire. And when the time is right, when everything is prepared, when you are prepared, your harvest will come. The process of pruning negativity is not something you do once and forget. It is not a task to be checked off a list, a single act of self-improvement that can be completed and set aside. It is a discipline, a lifelong practice, a way of being that must be cultivated every single day. Just as a garden left unattended will eventually become overgrown with weeds, your mind must be constantly tended to, refined, and purified. Negativity does not announce its return with great fanfare. It does not knock on the door and wait for permission to enter. It seeps in quietly, creeping into your thoughts through the smallest cracks, disguising itself as reason, logic, or even self-preservation. It embeds itself in the moments when you are tired, overwhelmed, or distracted. It takes root in the form of minor complaints, small doubts, casual criticisms, things that seem insignificant in the moment, but, if left unchecked, will once again grow into patterns that shape your reality. Every day you are faced with external influences that attempt to plant new seeds in your mind. Conversations filled with gossip and negativity, news designed to stir fear and anxiety, social media that promotes comparison and discontent. If you are not intentional about what you allow into your consciousness, you will absorb these influences without realizing it. You must become aware of the thoughts you entertain and the energy you engage with. If a conversation is pulling you into gossip, step away. If the news is filling your mind with fear, turn it off. If a relationship constantly drains you and fills your heart with doubt, consider whether it belongs in your life. It is not about shutting out the world, but about protecting the sacred ground of your mind. The more disciplined you become in guarding your inner space, the more you will notice how easily negativity tries to find its way back in. And the more you practice cutting it away, the sharper your pruning shears will become. It is written that you must be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This renewal is not a one-time event. It is a daily, ongoing process. The mind is like a river, always flowing, always shifting, always absorbing what it is exposed to. If you do not actively direct its course, it will drift according to external conditions. You must take command of your thoughts and be ruthless in removing anything that does not align with the life you are creating. Do not allow yourself to dwell on thoughts of failure, regret, or self-doubt. If an old fear resurfaces, cut it away immediately. If resentment begins to take root, remove it before it spreads. Do not entertain self-pity, even for a moment. Do not give negativity a home in your mind, not even for a night. The sooner you remove it, the weaker it becomes. This is why the most successful, peaceful, and fulfilled individuals are constantly refining themselves. They do not settle for past victories, nor do they allow old limitations to creep back into their minds. They remain vigilant, always pruning away distractions, temptations, and thoughts that no longer serve them. They understand that growth is not something that happens in a single breakthrough but is built through daily discipline, moment by moment, choice by choice. They take time to reflect, to observe their own thoughts, to question whether they are still aligned with their highest vision. And when they notice even the slightest misalignment, they correct it immediately. This is the difference between those who continue to elevate and those who remain stuck in cycles of frustration and stagnation. There is no final destination in this journey. There is no point where you will have pruned your mind so thoroughly that it no longer requires tending. Every new level of success, every new chapter of growth, will bring new challenges, new distractions, and new tests of your discipline. The stronger you become, the greater the responsibility to maintain your inner clarity. The more abundant your life becomes, the more vital it is to protect your energy from influences that seek to pull you back into the patterns you have worked so hard to leave behind. There will be days when the process feels exhausting, when the weight of external pressure makes it tempting to let your guard down, to relax the standards you have set for yourself. But in those moments, remember why you began this journey. Remember the transformation you have already experienced, the peace you have cultivated, the power you have reclaimed. The mind will always default to what is familiar unless you deliberately reprogram it. You must reinforce the new identity you are building every single day. Do not allow yourself to slip back into old habits of thought simply because they feel comfortable. Growth is uncomfortable by nature. It requires stretching, breaking, and rebuilding. It demands that you choose who you want to be even before the evidence of that transformation is visible in your external world. It requires that you keep pruning, keep refining, keep aligning, even when no one else understands the process you are going through. Every night before you sleep, take inventory of your mind. Reflect on your day. Were there moments where you allowed negativity to enter? Were there thoughts you entertained that should have been cut away? If so, revise them in your mind. Remove them before they have a chance to take root overnight. Replace them with thoughts of power, faith, and purpose. See yourself as the person you are becoming, not the person you used to be. Each morning, recommit to this discipline. Speak words that affirm the life you are creating. Walk with the posture of someone who is already victorious. Keep your focus so locked on your vision that no external circumstance can shake it. Understand that the enemy of your transformation is not always an external force. More often than not, it is the small, daily compromises that weaken your foundation. The moments when you allow a negative thought to linger instead of cutting it off. The times when you settle for less because you are tired of waiting. The times when you let fear dictate your choices instead of faith. The transformation you seek is not a mystery. It is a formula. Those who succeed in removing negativity from their lives are those who remain consistent in the pruning process. It will take time. It will take patience. But the reward is undeniable. When you live in alignment with the highest version of yourself, when you train your mind to reject negativity instantly, when you master the discipline of pruning your thoughts every single day, you will experience a freedom, a peace, and a level of power that few ever attain. Your mind will no longer be a battlefield, but a garden flourishing with divine abundance. The pruning process never ends, but those who commit to it will continue to grow, to evolve, and to walk in the fullness of their purpose. You have now been given the shears, the divine tools to cut away every weight, every lie, every limiting belief that has ever held you back. You have learned how to identify the weeds in your mind, revise your painful memories, speak only what you wish to see, surround yourself with positivity, hold the vision of who you are becoming, trust in divine timing, and never stop pruning. These are not just principles. They are the very foundations of transformation. But now comes the most important question: will you use them? Knowledge alone changes nothing. You can listen to these words, nod your head in agreement, even feel inspired, but if you do not take action, nothing in your life will change. Look at your mind as a garden once more. You now see the weeds, those negative thoughts, those painful memories, those patterns of fear and doubt. They are still there, waiting to be removed. And only you can do it. No one else can prune your garden for you. So the choice is yours. You can allow the old weeds to remain, continuing to choke the life out of your dreams. You can keep watering the past with your thoughts, reliving the pain, reinforcing the same struggles. You can remain in the same cycles, wondering why nothing ever changes. Or you can decide right now that this is the moment everything shifts. You can take up the pruning shears and begin the work. You can revise, you can speak life, you can align yourself with the future you are meant to have. You can create a new reality, a new identity, a new life. It will not happen overnight. The process requires commitment, discipline, and faith. But I promise you, if you remain steadfast, if you truly embrace these principles, if you make pruning a daily practice, then you will wake up one day and realize the negativity is gone. The fears that once held you back have no more power. The doubts that once whispered in your mind have gone silent. The memories that once tormented you no longer have weight, and in their place, abundance, peace, strength, purpose. This is the reward for those who take this journey seriously. You were never meant to live burdened by negativity. You were never meant to be trapped in cycles of pain, lack, and limitation. You were created for greatness, for joy, for divine fulfillment. And now you know the way. So stand up. Take the shears, cut away everything that does not belong in the life you are stepping into, and never look back. Your new life begins now. Have you ever considered the power hidden within you? The force that shapes your world, designs your reality, and determines every experience you encounter? It is not chance, nor is it fate that has woven the tapestry of your life. It is something far greater, something divine, something sacred. It is your imagination. Pause for a moment and reflect. What if everything you see, everything you touch, and everything you call reality is nothing more than a reflection of the world within you? What if the struggles you face, the setbacks you endure, and the victories you claim are all projections of what you have accepted as true in the depths of your own mind? Long before your hands built, before your feet traveled, and before your voice spoke, there was imagination. It is the unseen architect that sculpts the form of your existence. Every triumph and every tragedy, every moment of joy and every tear shed was first conceived in thought before it was ever experienced in form. But what does this mean for you? It means you hold the key to unlocking the life you desire. Scripture tells us, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This is not mere poetry. It is a divine law. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are not bound by the chains of your past. You are not limited by the world outside of you. For the world outside is merely a reflection of the world within. If you have ever questioned why certain patterns repeat in your life, why doors seem closed, why the same struggles find their way back to you, the answer is simple: your inner world has created them. The truth has been hidden in plain sight, yet few dare to accept it. Why? Because to accept this truth means to take responsibility for everything. It means that the life you are living right now is not the result of luck, injustice, or the actions of others. It is the harvest of seeds planted in the soil of your imagination. If you believe you are unworthy, life will confirm it. If you hold on to fear, you will see fear manifest in the events of your life. But if you dare to believe, if you dare to see yourself as blessed, worthy, and capable, the world will rearrange itself to reflect that belief. How then do you change your reality? How do you shift from suffering to abundance, from doubt to faith, from limitation to infinite possibility? The answer is not found in the external world. It is found in the sacred space within you, the realm of imagination. Think about the last time you dreamed. In that dream, did you not believe it to be real? Did you not experience emotions, sensations, and events as if they were truly happening? And yet, when you awoke, you realized it was all a creation of your mind. But what if I told you that this waking life operates the same way? What if I told you that your reality is but an extended dream, one you have the power to direct, alter, and transform? Faith is seeing the invisible before it becomes visible. Faith is knowing that what you hold in imagination must become reality. The greatest mistake humanity has made is believing in the evidence of the senses rather than the evidence of the unseen. What you see with your physical eyes is the past, the result of old thoughts and beliefs. But what you see in your imagination, that is the future, waiting to take shape. God's greatest gift to you is not in the world around you, it is the power within you. The power to conceive, the power to shape, the power to bring forth. And yet, many reject this gift. They imprison themselves in doubt, fear, and limitations, never realizing that the key has always been in their hands. Ask yourself, what if for just one moment you could step beyond your current circumstances and imagine a life of total fulfillment? What if you could see yourself as already healed, already successful, already abundant? And what if that vision was not fantasy, but the foundation upon which your future is built? There are no limits except the ones you accept. There is no reality except the one you create. And if you would only dare to believe, if you would only embrace the truth that your imagination is God within you, then nothing, absolutely nothing, would be impossible for you. Everything you experience in life is a direct reflection of your most persistent thoughts. This is not a metaphor. It is a law as unshakable as gravity. You are always thinking, always imagining, and in doing so, you are constantly shaping the world around you. The question is, what are you shaping? Many believe that their circumstances dictate their thoughts, but the truth is the opposite. Your thoughts dictate your circumstances. What you allow to dominate your mind eventually materializes in your reality. The thoughts you nurture, whether consciously or unconsciously, become the very foundation upon which your life is built. If your thoughts are filled with lack, worry, and fear, your world will mirror these emotions. If your thoughts are rich with faith, gratitude, and expectation, your life will respond in kind. Think about the conversations you have in your mind. Are you telling yourself that you will never succeed, that your best days are behind you, that people will always betray you? If so, then your life will continue to provide evidence to confirm these beliefs. You will attract circumstances, people, and experiences that reinforce these inner convictions because your subconscious mind does not argue, it accepts and creates. But what if, instead of filling your mind with doubt and limitation, you began to consciously choose thoughts of success, abundance, and peace? What if, in moments of struggle, you refused to surrender to fear and instead imagined yourself victorious? Do you realize the power of that simple shift? The mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant, it will grow. You cannot expect to sow seeds of fear and reap a harvest of joy. You cannot allow your mind to be filled with lack and expect life to bring you abundance. It does not work that way. The external world is not independent of your inner world, it is an extension of it. Consider this: if you were to take a seed and plant it in the ground, you would not expect it to grow overnight. But over time, as it is nurtured, watered, and exposed to the right conditions, it must break through the soil and manifest into its full form. The same is true for your dominant thoughts. What you allow to take root in your mind will, over time, grow into the reality you live in. The problem is that most people are unconscious gardeners. They do not realize that every thought is a seed, and so they plant weeds without even knowing it. They allow worries to dominate their thinking, and then they wonder why life brings them more things to worry about. They think in terms of limitations and then struggle to understand why their lives feel restricted. You must become deliberate with your thoughts. Guard them as you would guard a treasure, for they are shaping the world you will live in tomorrow. The key to transformation is not found in fighting external circumstances, but in changing the internal narrative. What dominates your thoughts today will become your lived reality tomorrow. If you desire change, you must first change the way you think. If thoughts are the blueprint of reality, then emotions are the force that brings that blueprint to life. Your emotions are the energy that fuels creation. Every thought you have carries a frequency, but it is the emotion attached to that thought that gives it power. This is why fleeting thoughts, those that lack deep feeling, rarely manifest, but thoughts charged with strong emotion become unstoppable forces in your life. Think about the moments in your past that have shaped you. Were they purely intellectual moments, or were they moments of deep emotional impact? Perhaps it was a moment of great joy where you felt so alive that the memory stayed with you forever. Or maybe it was a moment of deep sorrow, one so powerful that it altered the course of your life. The reason you remember these experiences so vividly is not because of the event itself, but because of the emotion attached to it. This same principle applies to the process of creation. A thought without emotion is weak, it has no momentum. But a thought infused with passion, faith, and certainty gathers strength and takes form in the world around you. This is why fear is so dangerous. When you dwell in fear, you are not merely thinking about something negative, you are emotionally investing in it. And the more energy you give to that fear, the faster it will manifest in your reality. But what happens when you shift that emotional energy towards faith and expectation? What happens when you choose to feel the joy of having your desires fulfilled before they manifest? That is when you step into your true power. When you allow yourself to feel the reality of your wish fulfilled, even before it appears, you activate a force that cannot be stopped. Look at the most successful people in the world. Do they dwell in hesitation, doubt, and fear? Or do they carry a deep sense of certainty that their vision will come to pass? The answer is clear. Success is not the product of luck. It is the result of unwavering faith and the emotions that fuel that faith. Most people make the mistake of waiting for circumstances to change before they allow themselves to feel joy, abundance, or peace. They say, I will feel successful once I have success. I will feel happy once I have what I desire. But this is backwards. The feeling must come first. You must generate the emotion before the manifestation, for it is the emotion that brings the thought to life. The secret is this: the moment you can genuinely feel the emotions of your fulfilled desire, as if it has already happened, is the moment you activate the unseen forces that bring it to pass. It is not enough to think about success, you must feel the thrill of success before it arrives. It is not enough to visualize abundance, you must feel the security of abundance as if it is already yours. This is not imagination in the sense of fantasy, this is imagination in the sense of creation. When you align your emotions with your vision, the world has no choice but to reflect that vision back to you. The world you see with your physical eyes is nothing more than a shadow of past thoughts and beliefs. It is an echo of what you have imagined before, a delayed reflection of your inner world. But here's the truth most people never grasp: external circumstances have no power over you unless you give them power. The mistake many make is allowing what they see to dictate what they believe. They look at their bank account and see lack, and so they accept it as their truth. They look at their relationships and see disappointment, and they assume that is all they are destined for. They see their health declining, and they accept sickness as their reality. But what if they dared to persist in imagination instead? What if they held on to the vision of abundance, love, and health even when the external world showed them the opposite? This is the test of true power, the ability to persist in the unseen, despite what the senses tell you. Most people give up too soon. They imagine wealth, but when no immediate change appears, they return to thoughts of lack. They imagine love, but when loneliness lingers, they fall back into despair. What they do not realize is that every time they shift their focus back to the old reality, they undo the work they have done in imagination. Faith is not seeing and then believing. Faith is believing until seeing. Your external world takes time to catch up with your inner vision, but if you persist, it must conform. Reality is nothing more than a mirror reflecting the most dominant images held within. If you refuse to let go of your vision, if you hold on to it with unwavering certainty, it has no choice but to manifest. Look at the great inventors, leaders, and creators throughout history. They all had one thing in common: they persisted in their vision when no one else could see it. They refused to be discouraged by the lack of immediate evidence. They knew that the external world would eventually conform to what they saw in their minds. This is the secret to transformation. If you persist in imagination, no external circumstance can stop you. If faith is the bridge between imagination and reality, then doubt is the force that destroys that bridge. Doubt is not just an obstacle, it is the only thing that prevents the fulfillment of your desires. Every time you allow doubt to creep into your mind, you interrupt the creative process. Doubt is a thief. It robs you of what is already yours. It whispers in your ear that your dreams are too big, that your circumstances are too difficult, that change is impossible. And if you listen, you will find yourself trapped in the same reality, endlessly cycling through the same struggles. The truth is, you do not need more effort, more action, or more resources. What you need is certainty. Think of a seed planted in the earth. If you were to dig it up every day to check if it is growing, would it ever take root? No, it would die before it had the chance to sprout. The same is true for your desires. If you constantly waver, if you plant the seed of imagination but then uproot it with doubt, you will never see it bloom. Doubt is nothing more than belief in failure. It is faith placed in the wrong direction. You must understand that every thought you entertain is an instruction to the universe. When you choose faith, you send the signal that your vision is certain. When you choose doubt, you send the signal that it is impossible. And the universe always responds to what you believe. Many people make the mistake of trying to force their desires into existence. They struggle, they worry, they try to control everything. But true manifestation is effortless. It requires resting in faith, not exhausting yourself in doubt. The question is simple. Which voice will you listen to? Will you listen to the voice of doubt which has kept you stuck in limitation? Or will you listen to the voice of faith, which calls you toward your highest potential? The choice is yours, and the outcome will always reflect the belief you hold most firmly. Look around you. Everything you experience, your relationships, your financial situation, your career, your health is a direct result of what you have imagined and accepted as true. Whether you are aware of it or not, your life has been molded by your thoughts, emotions, and assumptions. The truth is, you are never merely reacting to the world, you are continuously creating it. Most people believe they are stuck in a reality they did not choose. They think life happens to them rather than through them. But the moment you realize that your imagination has been shaping your existence all along, everything changes. You begin to see that nothing you experience is random. The struggles, the victories, the obstacles, the opportunities, all of it is a reflection of the beliefs you have held. This means that if you want to change your reality, you must first change what you accept as true in your mind. Many people attempt to change their external circumstances without first shifting their inner world. They chase success while believing they are failures. They seek love while holding on to a sense of unworthiness. They long for financial freedom while constantly worrying about money. And they wonder why their desires never materialize. Reality does not respond to mere wishes, it responds to certainty. It reflects the world you carry inside you. If you believe yourself to be struggling, struggling will persist. If you believe you are constantly overlooked, people will continue to overlook you. But the moment you accept a new truth, the world begins to shift. Think of your mind as a projector and your reality as the screen. The images on the screen do not change until the film inside the projector changes. No matter how much effort you put into altering the screen, the source remains the same. But once you change the film, the projection shifts effortlessly. This is why it is crucial to live as though your desired reality is already here. You must walk, talk, and think as the version of yourself who already has what they seek. When you embody the new version of yourself, your external world has no choice but to align with it. The past does not bind you unless you continue to carry it in your imagination. You are always living in the world you have created, so why not create deliberately? Most people wait for their circumstances to change before they adjust their mindset. They say, I will feel abundant when I have more money, or I will feel loved when I find the right partner. But this is backward thinking. The truth is, you must first feel it before you see it. Acting as if your desire is already fulfilled is not about pretending or forcing yourself to believe something that feels untrue. It is about shifting your consciousness to the state of already having what you seek. It is about stepping into the version of yourself who already lives the life you desire. Imagine you were cast in a play and your role was to be a confident, successful person. How would you carry yourself? How would you speak? What thoughts would dominate your mind? If you were fully immersed in that role, it would feel natural to embody those qualities. And yet this is exactly how reality operates. When you take on the identity of someone who has already received what they seek, you activate the unseen forces that bring it into being. The world does not give you what you want, it gives you what you are. If you see yourself as lacking, life will confirm that belief. If you see yourself as already fulfilled, life will arrange itself to match that state. This is why faith is so powerful. It is the evidence of things unseen. There is no need to beg, struggle, or force anything. Your job is simply to accept the truth of your desire already being fulfilled and live from that state. If you want wealth, carry yourself as someone who is already financially free, not through reckless spending, but through the inner certainty that wealth is your natural state. If you want love, embody the qualities of someone who is deeply loved and cherished. If you want success, walk with the confidence of someone who has already achieved greatness. The biggest mistake people make is thinking that acting as if means forcing external actions. It does not mean spending money you don't have or pretending to be something you are not. It means internally shifting your state so that your thoughts, emotions, and energy align with your desired reality. When you master this, reality bends in your favor. Doors open where there were once walls. Opportunities appear effortlessly. People respond to you differently. You are no longer waiting for your desires to come to you. You are living as though they are already yours. And when you live in that state, your world must follow. The words you speak are not just sounds, they are decrees, commands, and forces that shape your reality. Every word carries a vibration, a frequency that aligns with the energy of what you are declaring. Whether you realize it or not, you are constantly affirming things into existence. The question is, what are you affirming? Many people speak words carelessly. They say, I'm always unlucky. I never have enough money. Things never work out for me, and then they wonder why their lives continue to reflect these statements. But what they fail to see is that their words are shaping their experience. When they declare failure, failure must appear. When they affirm lack, lack must manifest. Scripture tells us death and life are in the power of the tongue. This is not just spiritual wisdom, it is a law of creation. Words are energy in motion. When you speak, you are sending a command into the unseen forces that shape your reality. This is why you must guard your tongue and become intentional with your speech. Think about the language you use daily. Do you speak with power, faith, and certainty? Or do you allow fear, doubt, and negativity to dominate your words? If you want to change your reality, start by changing the way you speak about yourself and your life. Begin speaking as if your desires are already fulfilled. Say, I am blessed. Everything is working in my favor. Opportunities flow to me effortlessly. Even if your current reality does not yet reflect these words, continue speaking them until they do. The universe is listening, and it will respond to what you repeatedly affirm. But it is not enough to merely say the words, you must feel them as true. The most powerful affirmations are those that stir emotion, that resonate deeply within you. When you speak with conviction, you accelerate the process of manifestation. Silence is also a weapon. Many people destroy their own blessings by constantly speaking about their worries, doubts, and struggles. They rehearse their problems instead of declaring solutions. They magnify their fears instead of speaking faith. But if they would only learn to speak less of their problems and more of their vision, their entire world would transform. Your words create your life. Speak as the person you wish to become, and soon you will become that person. Most people only believe in what they can see, touch, and measure. They trust their physical senses above all else, thinking that reality is fixed and unchangeable. But here is the great secret: what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. The reality you experience today is merely a delayed reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. It is not set in stone. It is not permanent. But if you live by your senses alone, you will be trapped in an endless loop of repeating the past. The unseen realm, the world of imagination, faith, and inner vision, is where true creation happens. Everything that has ever been achieved, every great invention, every revolution, every transformation, all of it began in the unseen. It was first conceived in the mind before it appeared in the world. Faith is the evidence of things not yet seen. It is the ability to trust in what is coming before it arrives. It is the unwavering belief that, regardless of what the physical world shows you now, your vision is already on its way. But faith is not passive. It is not about wishing or hoping, it is about knowing. It is standing firm in the conviction that what you desire already exists in the unseen and is simply waiting to materialize. Doubt is the great destroyer of faith. Many people begin with faith, but when they do not see immediate results, they waver. They start questioning, second guessing, and returning to their old beliefs. And in doing so, they block their own blessings. They uproot their manifestation before it has time to bloom. This is why you must train yourself to see beyond the physical. You must learn to trust your imagination more than your senses. When the external world tells you it is impossible, your faith must whisper, "It is already done." When circumstances try to convince you otherwise, you must hold firm in the unseen reality you have created in your mind. Think of a farmer who plants a seed. He does not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. He does not demand proof before he believes. He simply knows that, in due time, the harvest will come. This is faith. If you only believe in what you can see, you will always be bound by what is. But if you learn to believe in what is yet unseen, you will create what has never been before. The choice is yours. There is a fundamental truth that many overlook when trying to create the life they desire. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot hold on to faith while entertaining doubt. You cannot envision success while clinging to failure. You cannot expect abundance while speaking words of lack. You must choose: will you align with faith or will you submit to fear? The greatest mistake people make is wavering between belief and disbelief. One moment they are convinced that their dreams are possible, and the next they are overwhelmed by doubt. They pray for blessings yet continue to imagine struggle. They visualize success but still see themselves as failures. This divided mind creates conflict, and as long as that conflict exists, manifestation is delayed. Imagine trying to walk in two directions at once. It is impossible. You will remain stuck, moving nowhere. The same is true in your spiritual and mental life. If your thoughts and emotions are pulling in opposite directions, how can you expect progress? If you believe in abundance one day and worry about lack the next, how can prosperity reach you? You must commit fully to your vision. If you desire success, then let every thought, word, and emotion align with that success. If you want healing, then see yourself as already whole. If you want love, then embody the energy of someone who is already cherished. Scripture tells us that a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. This means that when your belief wavers, your life reflects that instability. The universe responds to certainty, not hesitation. When you fully commit to a belief, reality has no choice but to shape itself accordingly. Think of a sculptor working on a masterpiece. If they keep changing their vision halfway through, if they doubt their ability and stop carving, will the sculpture ever be completed? No. But if they persist, trusting in the final vision even before it takes form, the masterpiece will emerge. Your mind works the same way. Do not allow yourself to be swayed by external circumstances. Do not entertain two opposing beliefs. Choose the reality you desire and commit to it completely. When you stop serving two masters and dedicate yourself fully to faith, you will see the evidence of your belief unfold before you. There is a truth so profound, so powerful, that if fully understood, it would change everything about the way you live. This truth has been spoken in different ways throughout history, yet few grasp its true significance. Your imagination is God within you. This is not just a poetic statement or a philosophical idea. It is the very foundation of creation itself, the force that shaped the universe, the intelligence that brought forth the stars, the earth, and all life is not separate from you. It resides within you as your ability to imagine, to conceive, and to create. This is the divine gift placed within every human being, but few ever recognize its power. Most people have been taught to look outside themselves for answers. They believe God is distant, somewhere beyond their reach, and that their prayers are cries for help rather than acts of creation. They wait for miracles instead of realizing that they are the vessel through which miracles are made. They have been conditioned to think that imagination is mere fantasy when, in reality, it is the very tool God has given us to shape our world. Look at the world around you. Every building, every innovation, every advancement, everything that exists began in the mind of someone who imagined it first. Before it was ever a physical reality, it was a vision, an idea held firmly in the mind until it took form. This same principle applies to every aspect of your life. Nothing can exist in your world unless it is first accepted in your imagination. But here is where most people go wrong. They misuse this divine power. Instead of imagining abundance, they dwell on lack. Instead of envisioning success, they focus on failure. Instead of creating a future filled with joy, they replay past pain over and over in their minds. And as a result, their lives become a reflection of those inner images. Your imagination is always creating. It does not pause. It does not discriminate. It does not judge whether you are using it for your benefit or your downfall. It simply brings forth whatever you hold in your mind with conviction. This is why you must take control. You must become the master of your imagination, not its servant. If you do not direct it consciously, it will be directed by your fears, doubts, and past conditioning. And if you allow that to happen, you will continue to live in a world shaped by limitations rather than possibilities. See yourself as already living your desire. Imagination is most powerful when used in the present tense. Instead of longing for a better life someday, step into it now in your mind. See yourself already possessing what you seek. Feel the emotions of success, love, health, and fulfillment as if they are already yours. Do not wait for external confirmation, create the confirmation within. Do not allow the evidence of the senses to distract you. The physical world is nothing more than a delayed reflection of past thoughts. If you base your beliefs on what you currently see, you will remain stuck in a cycle of repetition. Train yourself to trust the unseen more than what is visible. Your reality is not fixed, it is malleable, waiting to be reshaped by your imagination. Speak as one who already has what they seek. Your words are an extension of your imagination. When you speak, you reinforce what you believe. If you constantly say, "I never have enough, things never work out for me," or "I am always struggling," you are using your divine power against yourself. Instead, declare boldly, "I am blessed. Everything is working in my favor. I am walking in abundance." Speak life into your reality. Detach from the how and focus on the vision. One of the greatest mistakes people make is obsessing over how their desires will come to pass. This is not your concern. Your only job is to imagine and believe. The path will unfold in ways you cannot predict. But if you hold on to your vision, the pieces will come together at the perfect time. The greatest test of faith is persistence. Many people start strong in their imagination, but when they do not see immediate results, they waver. They allow doubt to creep in, undoing all the work they have done. But those who persist, those who refuse to let go of their vision, are the ones who see their desires fulfilled. Reality is slow to catch up, but it must catch up if you remain firm in your belief. Throughout history, the greatest spiritual teachers, visionaries, and leaders have understood this truth. Imagination is the bridge between the unseen world of possibility and the tangible world of reality. When Scripture says, "Faith is the evidence of things not seen," it is pointing directly to imagination. Faith is the ability to trust in what you have envisioned before it appears. It is the certainty that what you have imagined must come to pass, no matter what circumstances currently suggest. You were never meant to live at the mercy of the world. You were given the power to create it. This is the highest truth, the greatest secret hidden in plain sight. You are one with the divine creative force. You are not separate from God, you are an expression of God's creation through imagination. So the question remains, how will you use this power? Will you continue to imagine fear, failure, and struggle? Or will you step into the divine nature within you and create a life of joy, abundance, and fulfillment? This power has always been yours. It has always been within you. And the moment you choose to use it deliberately, the world will shift in ways you never thought possible. You do not need to see proof before you believe. You do not need external validation before you trust in the unseen. Your imagination is the proof. Your vision is the evidence. If you will only dare to believe in the power within you, there is nothing you cannot create. Imagine wisely, for your world will become exactly what you hold in your mind. Everything you have experienced in life, every triumph, every hardship, every moment of joy or despair has been shaped by one thing: your imagination. Whether you realized it or not, your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs have been molding your reality from the very beginning. The life you are living right now is simply a reflection of what you have persistently imagined and accepted as true. But now you know the truth. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are not at the mercy of fate or luck. You are the creator of your world. Within you lies the power to transform your life, to break free from the patterns that have held you back, and to step into a reality of your own choosing. If you desire a different future, you must imagine differently. You must refuse to be ruled by external conditions and instead live from within, from the unseen world of faith, vision, and certainty. You have learned that your dominant thoughts shape your experiences. Emotions amplify creation and give energy to your desires. Persistent imagination overrides external circumstances. Doubt is the only thing that blocks manifestation. You already live in the world you have imagined, so choose wisely. You must act as if your desire is already fulfilled. Words hold creative power. Speak only what you wish to manifest. Faith in the unseen is more powerful than evidence of the senses. You cannot serve two masters. Commit fully to your vision. Your imagination is God within you, the divine force that creates all things. With this knowledge, the question remains: what will you create? Will you continue to let fear dictate your future? Or will you step boldly into the truth that you are limitless, powerful, and capable of shaping your world? Do not wait for circumstances to change before you believe. Believe first and the world will follow. Trust the unseen. Walk in faith. Speak only what aligns with your vision. And above all, persist no matter what appears before you. Your imagination is your greatest gift. Use it deliberately. Use it fearlessly. Use it as God intended, for creation, expansion, and limitless possibility. The world you desire is already within you. Now, it's time to bring it to life. If this message resonated with you, leave a comment below and share your thoughts. What will you choose to create? How will you use your imagination to transform your life? Let us know. We'd love to hear your journey.